um, last Monday, uh, it's the end of the season. It's the end of the year, and good things have been happening. But last Monday, I you can tell from my voice that I've been coaching, that I've been yelling in a gym since September, and especially recently in gyms that are packed. Uh, a lot of people cheering and everything. So my voice, between that and a sinus infection, I wondered how an episode would go, what I would sound like on here. So um, I actually was just sitting here about dozing off and thought I need to get to bed. But um, yesterday we went to the eighth grade regional, and it was different this year because because Thanksgiving is this coming week. It's kind of thrown off the IESA schedule. Um, so we played two games in one day, which you rarely, if ever, do. You do that at the state tournament, but you normally don't play two games in the same day, and you have to have it's an amount of time in between games. You can't ask a team to play and then turn right around and play again. So we were at Marquette Heights, north of Pekin, pretty much from about let's see, we left at 9:30. We probably got there at 10:30. So we were there basically from 10:30 until almost 5 o'clock. The second game started at 3:30. Um, so it was a long day, and when we got there, there was a game going on, and then we played, and then there were three games between the time that we took the court again. And I'm not good at sitting in a gym if I'm not playing, if my team's not playing, or if someone I'm rooting for isn't playing. I'm not very good at it. I'm not very good at being around. I need to preface this. I should have said it sooner. I'm trying not to be. I'm trying not to run anyone down, and I'm definitely not talking about anyone from Illini Central. None of what I'm going to say has anything to do with our fans or our parents or honestly any of the coaches in our system or our school or anything like that. Um, so I want to get that out of the way. So anything I say, please don't listen to it and think, oh, he's talking about so and so. I'm not. I'm not. Um, but anyway, after sitting in the gym for a little bit, and then even last Saturday when there was a game before ours, the seventh grade, I just don't do well with it. Rhonda would tell you I don't, I might be considered a people person, but being out in public is not my thing anymore. Um, People have changed, I think, anyway. And it's just, yeah, that's why those people who know me well know I go get my groceries at Walmart at 6 a.m. So that way there's like a handful of people in there, and I don't see rudeness and I don't see disrespect towards other people. And so anyway, yesterday in that gap between our first game and our second game, I needed to watch one of the games because it was going to be our opponent in the next game. And uh, I sat for as long as I could and watched for as long as I could. And then I left the school, not in my truck. I rode the bus. I actually went outside and went for a walk because I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take being in the gym and hearing the things I was hearing and seeing the things I was seeing. And I, Rhonda can tell you as well that I hate going. When she would say in the summer, "Hey, do you want to go on a walk?" My answer is always absolutely not. Um, I, I don't enjoy that. That's not. I've walked to work a handful of times in the last 6 years. I posted on Facebook and Instagram the day after I coached my last high school boys basketball game that I walk to work, but I don't like to do it. But I did it yesterday. I had to get out of that gym. And part of it was this. And again, I'm not talking, and there isn't hardly any Illini Central people in there, and they're not near me, and they have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But when you're in that situation, you're seeing all different kinds of coaches, and you're seeing all different kinds of players, and you're seeing their interaction with their players and with the referees and with their fans. And while I was sitting there watching it, it made me think of a line from a series on HBO that Ron and I watched called Succession. And one of the main characters in Succession, well, the main character, at one point he's having a battle with his children over their company. And they're arguing and going back and forth. It's a very dysfunctional situation. And at one point, before he leaves this meeting that is not going well with his kids, he says to them, "You are not serious people." And when I had enough yesterday, I got up, like I said, walked out of the gym and went for that walk. I knew I had like halfway through the third quarter and all of the fourth quarter of that game before I needed to be back to watch the next game, which was the opponent that we'll have tomorrow night. And I walked out of there, and all I could think was when I was sitting there with my buddy Nate, our bus driver, scorekeeper, one of the best guys in the world, all I could think about was, you're not serious. You're not a serious person. You're not taking this seriously. And it just kept going through my head. And it wasn't the kids. It's not the kids that I was thinking about. It was some of the adults. And I just kept thinking that over and over. You're not serious. You're not serious. You're not serious about this. And I don't know how you can be a coach, be a teacher, be a Sunday school teacher, be a youth minister, be a counselor, be an administrator, be anything in the world that has to do with helping kids. I don't know how you can do it without being serious. Like, you're not even trying. And you're clearly making excuses about everything that's going wrong or that's not going your player's way or your kid's way or whatever. And it's just like, you're not serious about this. And I can't get it. And not only do I not get it, I don't want to be around it. I don't want to be in the same room with it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to hear it. And that's why I went out and set my watch and walked a mile uphill. Thought my Achilles were going to tear. It was just, not what I wanted to be doing, but it was outside. It was actually warmer outside than it was inside. And I didn't have to watch that. And if your children are, or grandchildren or whatever, if they're in a situation where they're involved with a teacher, a coach, an administrator, but any of those things I already named, if they're serious about it and they're trying their hardest to help your child, grandchild, or whatever be the best they can be, regardless of whether they're winning regionals or they're not, that's a good thing. Because that means your kid is being around someone that takes whatever it is that they're doing seriously. And then you hope that rubs off on them, that in some ways they're preaching to those kids the importance of taking things seriously. And the winning part of it's not the serious part. It's the approach to it that's the serious part. I've said all year long to our girls, it matters whether or not you do what's right over and over and over again. Because if you begin to pick and choose when you are or when you aren't going to do the right thing, it's much easier to pick the other. And once you start allowing yourself to settle for less than your very best, than being serious about what you're doing, then you're not going to be successful because because it's hard to be successful. It's hard. It is hard. A lot of times it's hard to choose to be serious and to work at what you're doing. It takes time. It means practicing. If you have 2 games a week, you're practicing the other 3. You're not taking Fridays off. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a 3-day weekend with no practice on a Friday and just go home after school. You're not going to get what you want doing that. You're not. You might not even get what you want doing that, but I can guarantee you that you will not if you do that. And we talk all year long about it. And that line about if you start picking and choosing, I say it all the time. If I pick and choose when I'm going to help on defense, if I pick and choose when I'm going to make the extra pass to an open teammate, if I pick and choose whether I'm going to go hard in practice and take it seriously, then I will eventually start picking the easiest. And we were talking with some dear friends about it last night, and it's like, okay, I'm going to start a diet, but are you serious about it? I mean, are you gonna do it, or are you going to half do it? Are you going to pick and choose the times that you stick with what you need to do to be what you want to be in that diet and whatever it is? Or are you serious about being a parent? Or are you just going to do it the easy parts and do it when it's easy? Or when you're a spouse, are you going to be serious about that? Are you going to work to make your relationship work? Or are you going to just, whatever is the easiest thing to do, that's what I'm going to do? When I know I need to do this, I'm not doing that. And it just kept going through my head over and over while I was on that walk. You're not serious. You're not serious about it. And, the girls that I coach, they're great. They're great kids. And they've learned a lot, and they've gotten better, and they're still kids. But we won the 7th grade regional, which if you follow, if you're friends with me on Facebook or whatever, you've seen that. And tomorrow night we have a chance to win another one. And, if you know me well, or you played for me, or you were my student, I'm big about talking to you like you're an adult. I'm serious about talking to you. I'm serious about trying to help you be better. I always have been, and I always will be. And that may be one of the only good gifts that I have, is I will talk to you in a way. I believe as a parent, you should talk to your kid like they're an adult. You have to treat them like one, but you need to explain to them the reasons why they should do what they should do. Much like what I was saying about if you start picking and choosing. And so we were talking yesterday after our first game about giving ourselves the opportunity to play for another championship by winning the second game yesterday. And I mentioned too at one point, this wasn't a fun trip. This was a business trip. We came up here for our business is to get 2 wins, so we put ourselves in an opportunity to do something we want to do because we're serious about it. And at one point, one of them says, has it ever happened before that Illini Central and Illini Central Greenview have won both the 7th grade and the 8th grade regionals? And maybe you're listening to this and you're from Illini Central and you know the answer to it. I don't. I'm 99.9% sure it hasn't happened in the 22 years that I've been here, that both the 7th grade and the 8th grade girls basketball teams have won a regional championship. That's serious. They are serious. If you're thinking that, you're being serious about it. You understand that there's something you need to do. And if I have to do it, I'm going to do it. I might not like it. I may not want to in the moment. It might be hard. It might be difficult. It might not be comfortable, but I'm going to do it because that's what I want and that's what it takes. Because I'm serious. I'm serious about it. I've watched game film of our opponent 2 times. I watched them in person. I've nitpicked and went through and tried to find things that can help us win because I owe it to those kids, my kids, because I'm serious. And that's all you want, is you want someone who's taking it seriously. Because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Tomorrow night we go to this game and, maybe things don't go our way. But I know one thing. We're taking it serious. And we are going to put ourselves in a position to win the game. The second game yesterday is the best game we've played all year, and it's not close. And if you were there watching the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We looked like we were serious. I didn't have this discussion with them, the serious thing that hit me yesterday afternoon when I was sitting there watching games that I didn't really want to be watching. And when I was on my walk, we haven't had this serious conversation. We've had it in other ways, but we haven't had this exact conversation. I've been around a lot of great coaches in my life. I don't know. What's a lot? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6 great coaches maybe. People that took it serious all the time. When they were coaching, when they were running their program, they were serious about it. They weren't cutting corners. If you've played a sport, you know when you're running, whether it's basketball, volleyball, whatever, running in football, and you have to hit the lines. You can come up a foot short from the line. You can do that, and you might not get caught, and the coach might not say anything to you. But you're still cutting a corner. You're still not being serious. You're still picking the easy way. What's that 1 foot matter? I don't know. Maybe the difference between winning and losing. What's that? What's that 1 Friday off? What's that? Not giving your very best. That was well said. That's just my point is yesterday it hit me. And then for us to go out and play the way we played, just dominate. I talked to a couple of people after the game that hadn't been to many of ours, and they were just shocked at how well we played and how we played together. And it was everybody, for a lack of a better way of saying it, being serious. And like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter whether it's basketball, your schoolwork, your job, your parenting, your relationships, whatever it is. If you're not serious, if you're not a serious person about it, I don't know how you're ever going to get what you want. I know this. I'm going to take 10 serious people with me tomorrow back to this school with an opportunity to play a good team that is well coached, that clearly takes her team serious and takes her job serious. And it should be a good game, and I can live with however it ends, because I know that the people that I'm going to ask to go onto the court are going to take it serious and are going to give me everything they have. And the people that coach with me are going to do exactly the same thing. I cannot wait for tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. I cannot wait. There's nothing you love more than when you're serious and you've put the time in, knowing that the people that you've done it for appreciate it and are going to give it to you right back. So off my soapbox, off to bed, and just like I always say, life is good And it's even better when you take things serious and you give it your best, because in the end, you know that you did everything you could do. I just don't know how you could do anything else. I guess that's why I love my parents, and I'm glad that I was raised by the best, because I learned it from them. Take care. See you soon. Another regional plaque tomorrow night. Let's go.